It's raining, it's not pouring, and I'm not snoring. I'm making a YouTube video. What's going on, guys? Just here in the Canadian wilderness. Check it out, man. This is nature, clean, fresh air. This is how it looks when you breathe it in. I want to talk about why I stopped smoking weed. Smoking weed was definitely part of my identity. I was known as Ted Herb Carr, THC was my initials. But I don't identify as a pot smoker anymore. I identify as someone who's an advocate of fit, healthy, happy lifestyle living. And I've still got a couple friends that smoke weed, but they don't want to be smoking weed. That's the difference. In high school, it was like the opposite. There was like people who didn't smoke weed, and they were the kids like who wanted to kind of like, you know, be cool, be rebellious, and be experimental, be, you know, progressive. But they didn't smoke it because like they were like afraid to, you know, get involved with drugs and stuff. And now it's like the people who started smoking weed in high school, they still smoke it. And like they can't stop, almost like they're afraid to leave the identity behind. They're afraid to just completely transform and metamorphosize their life. They're afraid to see what it's like to not have that ball and chain. I guess maybe they just don't like who they are when they're not high as much. They prefer being high. That's cool, I guess, because that was me for the longest time. I preferred being high. But since I've been raw vegan, since I've been fruitarian, since I went vegan, I can't get high anymore. I mean I can, but I hate it. It sucks. Every time I've gotten high since being raw vegan, fruitarian, I've hated the high. It disables me. It prevents me from being me. It prevents me from being laser sharp. Boom, boom, boom. It fogs my mind. It makes me feel like really hazed over. And it just gets me thinking thoughts that I don't even want to be thinking. I love the thoughts I think now. These thoughts I've been thinking now have gotten me to where I am now, living my dream life. And the thoughts I think when I'm high are not the thoughts that I want to be thinking. So, I probably would keep smoking weed if it didn't affect me like that. If it affected me positively, I probably would keep smoking weed. But I wouldn't know. I mean, I wouldn't know that it's affecting me negatively had I not been experiencing this positivity that I experience when I'm sober, when I'm not high. So let's go for a walk. We'll talk when I walk a bit here. Yeah, I used to think weed was very beneficial and it was really fun, and if I didn't smoke it, that'd be really lame. And everything I did, I was stoned. I had to mow the lawn, I'd get stoned before I started the lawnmower. If I had to wake up and have a bagel or some cereal, wasn't very hungry, I'd smoke some weed and then I'd have some food. Or if I had to drive somewhere, I'd get stoned. Or if I had to go to school, I'd get stoned first. I had to watch a movie. There's no way I was gonna watch a movie unless I was stoned. And then you ask me, like, at the end of the movie, what happened? And I don't even remember what the frick the movie was called. Yeah, there's just no recollection. Very, very strange experience there. But anyways, I definitely did have some good times when I was stoned. You know, like a lot of my experiences, like I just said, before I did everything, I got stoned. So most of my experiences between the ages of, I'd say like 16, 17, 18, 19, was in a stoned state, in a really high state. I'm from British Columbia. BC Bud is like some good stuff, man. I've been around the world and I've seen weed in other places, even like places like Laos and Thailand. I've seen the weed there, and dude, it's shit. And they think it's good. They're like, oh yeah, check out this good stuff. I take it, I smell it, and I'm like, oh my god, that's poo swag. So yeah, I still appreciate the smell of it here. When I walk down the forest and I see someone smoking it, I get a whiff secondhand. I love the smell. My friends have like some baggies or something every now and then, like the medicinal stuff. You can get it medicinally really easily here in Vancouver. Just go downtown and walk into a store and purchase it. But my friends have the medicinal stuff, and I open the bag and smell it. It smells so good. I love the smell. You can tell I'm out of breath. I haven't been doing much cardio lately. I've been going to the gym a bit, but not much cardio. So yeah, I really like how my state is when I'm sober, and I suppose if weed didn't affect my thoughts, then I wouldn't have an issue with consuming it nowadays, but I just feel so much better when I'm not smoking it. And as for nofap, why I stopped masturbating, I want to talk a bit about that as well, because that's just like, most people would never fucking question it. Would never question it. You just masturbate. That's just what guys do. You don't question it. It's just what guys do. And if you don't masturbate, there's something seriously wrong with you. Like, you're off kilter a bit. You're out of balance. You're out of whack. Maybe you're gay. Like, there's something inherently wrong with not masturbating. That's the default thought process for most people. You watch porn growing up from the age of 10 or 11, or maybe younger, maybe a little bit older. You start getting interested, your balls drop, your hormones get raging a bit. And once you start watching porn, you don't stop. And when you watch porn, you get horny. When you get horny, you gotta touch yourself, so you whack off. And then you don't even need porn eventually. You can just whack off because you get horny, you're stressed out, and you need to calm down, chill out, de-stress. So you do so every morning or before bed every night. And that's just what you do. It's part of who you are. It's healthy. And if you don't masturbate, you can get ball cancer, testicular cancer. All sorts of myths come up, you know, just like before people go vegan. They're like, if you don't eat meat, you're not gonna get enough XYZ protein, calcium, iron. But with nofap, once you stop doing it, you can't really go back. You can't really go back into the fapping lifestyle. Because when you start doing nofap, aka when you stop masturbating, your vitality just goes up a notch, like ving, and you're always ving. And then when you start masturbating again, or when you relapse, you're just like boom. And there's that recovery period, that 2 to 3 day recovery period. And it's just life's just not the same. Things are just a little slower moving. You just don't have that same oomph. You don't have that extra kick. You don't have that kapow in your life. And this is like very similar to going on raw food. When you start eating a raw food diet, you just boom. And if you ever relapse, if you ever go back to cooked food, there's that sense of boom. It's like things are just a little slower moving. Your digestion isn't as quick. You're on the toilet for an extra couple minutes. You don't have that as much mental acuity, mental sharpness, laserness as you do when you're raw. So doing things like eating a raw food diet, doing things like nofap or not masturbating, doing things like quitting marijuana and just inhaling clean air, these are all like little life hacks, and you don't have to do them. Like, you can keep watching porn, you can keep masturbating, you can keep smoking weed, you can keep eating cooked food. You don't have to do whatever the heck you want. As long as, like, you know, you're not hurting anyone or anything. But what you realize is that when you do things that make you feel better, like nofap or quit smoking weed, you do things that make you feel better, you feel better, you feel like a better person. And so when you interact with other people, it's always like a better interaction. So you can uplift other people in a much easier way. You can actually have conversation, actually listen with people, actually hold eye contact with people. And you know, remember their name and things like that. So it's like, it just creates like a little better world around you for everyone. But anyways guys, I'm gonna peace out now. This video is long enough. 8 minutes. No, going on 9 minutes now. Well, if I go an extra minute, I can add an extra ad, but I'm not making YouTube videos so I can add extra ads. So I'm gonna close this video off now. I'll see you guys later. Peace.